How did you actually start strolling?
I remember when I was growing up paying attention to Silicon Valley culture, startups and blah, blah, blah. And there's a guy that maybe a lot of people who are from the tech world might know, and I just saw what he was doing and I was like, oh, that's cool. He started his own podcast interviewing founders of companies, and I just remember being so just kind of delighted with how it's shot with nice lighting and in HD and a beautiful setting, sort of like a casual conversation, and most of the time I think he knows the people, so it's a bit friendly, the exchange. Like it's not a kind of interview really, it's more of like a conversation, so which gave me a really clear idea that someday I feel like I'm going to have a kind of show, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And then there's another point somewhere about studying music in university, interested in certain musicians and doing research on them, and a lot of the times you learn about musicians by reading or watching interviews that I did with other people, and I would be so frustrated to see really famous musicians that are hard to get to and they don't have a lot of time, and they ask them the same questions that everybody else asks them, like, so what got you into music? I wanted to show an example of how to not do that, basically, just like ask other stuff. And then, of course, the more recent thing is traveling experiences, where I go to all these different places and I meet people everywhere and have this urge to capture it somehow without ruining the moment, but share it, and so that everybody else can also benefit from this richness. I didn't know how to do that for a long time. How do you like just somebody I just met on the street and like record and put a camera in their face or something? I couldn't figure out like the logistics about that. And I also didn't know how to frame it, like what's all this about? Is it a musician thing? Like, no, am I going to interview like specific people about specific subjects? No. So I don't know how to actually call the thing and what is it about, because everybody wants to know what the podcast is about, and like these kinds of questions I wasn't able to answer, so I didn't end up doing anything until a friend of mine told me that I should just record one and then figure out what to call it later, which gave me the impetus to start. And then I ended up recording like 3 or 5 of them, and I was like, oh cool, okay, I have like 5 of these and I know what I'm doing now. I still don't know what it's called, but like I know what I'm doing. And then I ended up just finding some title that worked, and I like this idea of strolling, which was really this French word of flâneur. Actually, there was another thing that was called that. And I think they were literally like strolling, walking in that show. I guess I'm just generally quite inspired by these kind of human interactions and dialogue, and not talking so much about what people do or their work. I'm not a specialist about many things or maybe anything, so whatever I'm interested in ends up coming through, and then I hope that it'll be a way for people who are also interested in the same things that I'm interested in to get into some of these things. Hope to do it for a long time.